Okay, here we are, friends. Had a little bit of a rough start there, but the live stream is going strong. Thank you very much for Paul for telling me that the audio is not going. One thing about Telegram, if anyone from Telegram watches this, if the button being a glowing blue is not a good signal that it's not working. It should be like grayed out or I don't know. There should be some sort of warning there. I don't know. Might want to change that. But anyways, we're here, and I am back from a massive trip. The entire region of Russia in the Far East that basically borders the Pacific Ocean. I've seen it all, baby, over the last month. Not much time in Vladivostok and Primorsky Krai, but a little bit, and I've been there before. So today I kind of want to talk to you about my trip and maybe some of the political and other travel realities of that region because it is pretty cool and pretty darn interesting. We have another person. V, is that V? Allowed to speak? Hello. Are you here? V. Are you gonna talk?
Hi, I'm just a normal V. I just
want
to let you know I couldn't hear, but that's fine. You can mute me again.
All right, I'm gonna do that right now. But it's always nice to have a lady. Okay, thank you. Because trust me, the Tim Kirby Russia universe tends to be very male dominated, and that's no fun. I'll tell you one thing: after football practice, a whole locker room full of naked guys is no fun. So, anyways, but then for now we're clothed. We're going to talk about this here trip. We might even have a little bit of a discussion about stoicism because I had sort of a post about that. I was a little naughty. I was in kind of a bad mood earlier today, and it seems like everyone disagrees with me, but that's okay. Freedom of speech, baby. Anyways, let's. And also, I just had one of the craziest conversations of my life. So let's start out with this story because this is nuts. I kind of wanted to make a post on the Tim Kirby Russia hardcore chat. If you're watching this later on and it's not live, got to join up Telegram, Tim Kirby Russia hardcore. Look for it and join the fun. But anyways, I had a chat with two people. Okay, wanted to know about sort of Russia's stance on the war in Ukraine or special operation, or from the Ukrainian standpoint, anti-terrorist operation, from the NFL, the National Football League, from the NFL, the National American Football League, the most profitable sports league in all the world, making way more money than even FIFA, or as it's called in Russian, FIFA. So that was weird. I think these two guys, I think in a way, first off, they were probably I think they were sort of expecting from people in Russia. First off, they weren't expecting someone who doesn't have an accent, okay? So they wanted to talk to the president of the League of American Football in Russia, and he was there, and he does have a pretty thick accent. No offense, Artemi, you're my boy, but your accent is a lot like my accent when I speak in Russian. It's very noticeable. So anyways, I think they sort of thought that we'd be sort of, I don't know, clownish or like these sort of Putin zombies or something. And and then basically it's like, well, so what you're trying to say is you have pro-Putin beliefs. I was like, could you define what pro-Putin beliefs are? Could we sort of, could we lay this out one by one, all these different beliefs that sort of encompass this Putinism stuff? And let's go one by one and see if we believe in them or support them or not. And, and after that, he was like, I got to go talk to my bosses. So anyways, I think I might be too smart for that. If you remember the context, I even told these guys that when the NFL draft, for those who don't know, the NFL draft is in a lot of American sports. It's basically to make it fair when athletes come off the market of being college university players. The league sort of gives different teams the chance to sort of pick them. So that way they're fairly distributed and there's better competition. They call that the draft, much like the draft for the Army. Okay. So anyways, before the draft started this year, they had this like huge pro-Ukrainian segment. And I kind of brought that up and it's like, well, so anyways, but the thing is though, the Russian American Football League did offer the NFL and its journalists the opportunity for at least a couple of them to come to Russia in the very near future for free to film about what American football here is doing. Absolutely bizarre, extremely interesting conversation. I hope those guys were honest. They seem to be honest in what they were saying about how they wanted to hear both sides. The problem is when they kind of were like, we got to ask for approval on a lot of stuff, maybe their bosses aren't so honest. Ooh, okay. So one of the more weird experiences of my life, but that was kind of fun. But unfortunately, I have a strong feeling that the the NFL did not get what they were looking for, especially from an erudite gentleman like myself from the ghetto. Anyways, that was my weird experience for today. Let's take a look at the chat. Is anyone writing anything, or are we just, oh, okay, no one's writing anything. That's fantastic. So anyways, basically what did I do? So first thing we did was we filmed mostly Kamchatka and Chukotka, which if we get open a map, oh my God, can I actually do this and get open a map? Let's see. I probably should have prepared this beforehand. Okay, Yandex, here we go, baby. Yandex. And I love if you type in Yandex in the wrong language, it'll still load. That's amazing. So let's get this open. Okay, and let's see if I can share the screen without failing. I believe in myself, and I believe that I can. So anyways, let's do this. It's probably under this button thing. Settings, share screen. Yes, we will share screen. Okay, and here we go. All right, share that screen. All right. So anyways, just so you guys sort of understand the context, and remember, friends, your buddy Tim here does everything in Russian. Not to show off or anything. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just the reality of things. So anyways, we go over here. And this is where we're at with the with sort of Russia's far east. So this thing that sticks down here, if any of you remember from the Risk game board, this is where your Kamchatka is. This is Magadan over here, and then over in here is Chukotka in the very sort of northeast, and it's white on the map for a reason, whereas Vladivostok is like down here. You can probably see it glowing. So anyways, we started our adventure around Magadan, and one thing that I was really, really happy about was the very first thing we saw was this sort of monument. That was the first thing we went to go and film. So anyways, let's stop sharing the screen. Stop it. And this monument, which is something like the faces of mourning, not mourning as in tomorrow morning, but mourning like as in sorrow. And it was a Yeltsin era monument that was sort of connected to the fact that a lot of people were sent to sort of prison camps to work around Magadan back in the good old days. Oh, that's not a good look. We're not going to show off dinner there. Never mind. We'll have less Tim, but also no dinner in the frame. But so anyways, we went there, and it's under construction. They're kind of fixing it up. Interesting that a monument that was made in the 90s is completely falling apart. Low quality. But anyways, the woman there, we were talking to her about, okay, well, what are we going to do, or what do you guys want to do? She was sort of the tour guide. By the way, if you want to take a tour of Kamchatka, I was extremely happy with the tourist guides that were there. They did a really freaking good job. Very punctual, very respectful, very polite. The woman was a little bit in shock because of us, because I'll put it this way. Despite the fact that you might not think it, and that we also have one lady in the Tim brigade there, it is the most brutal, sailor locker room talk that you can imagine. Once we get going, it is tough to be in a car with us. I'll put it that way. It's an intense car ride when we turn on full locker room mode. So she was a little bit weirded out by us, but that's okay. She did her job very professionally. But anyways, this woman, one thing she said, which I was really happy to hear, first thing coming off the plane was, I am so sick of everyone bringing up those stupid prison camps. That was almost 100 years ago. Or I forget. Let me see. That'd be Stalin died in 53, so it's 50 years. That was over 70-some years ago. Everyone brings that up. I'm so sick of it. So, and that's one thing is, the interesting thing about Magadan is when you're in Moscow, liberal Moscow, what is Magadan? Magadan is two things. And unfortunately, I'm going to ruin the jokes from the video because this joke's going to be in there. Deal with it. It's two things. It's the song, I'm going to Magadan, the song, which is very popular. And then two is the prison camp thing. And that's all people know about it. And that's also because it's the Moscow liberal thing, and they always want to bring it up over and over and over again. And it was so nice to hear from a local person, then local people, that they're just can we just get over this? It was so long ago. That's not the way things are now. And that just really, I don't know how to explain it. It just kind of warmed my heart that someone else realizes that this liberal nightmare of feeling shame for the past just needs to go away. It needs to go away. Anyways, I am seeing some post from you, and you your posts always baffle me because I'll get because I guess maybe I'm more primitive than I think because I like whenever I see a message that says like Tim Kirby hardcore chat you and then something, I'm always like, I didn't write that. No, it's him. It's him. He wrote it. But yeah, so he posted some pictures from flight sims. Yeah, I did, but I didn't share them. I think I'll do that later. Give me some time, or maybe I'll do it now. Who knows? Why don't you, my friend, what would that be? Reply to them, like the best one, and I'll share it with everybody right now. Okay, how's that? Is that a deal? Anyways, Earthbot 2. It makes more sense to spend the resources on the construction of a north-south. Well, he was responding to. I've released already 2 videos on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute about some political stuff related to my trip that I actually filmed live from the Bering Strait. Oh boy. So we've got one video up. The second video, I don't think I shared it because I'm a moron. So I'll share that after this is done. I kind of just forgot about it. But anyways, here's some nice pictures from mine. The people are sharing. Very, very nice. I was wondering if you recognize any locations. I think it was close. Well then, dude, could you please reshare the pictures? There's a lot of chat messages. I won't be able to find them. So please reshare, and I'll take a look, and I'll tell you if any of them are recognizable or not. But now, so Magadan, we're going there, and so what's the perspective? Oh, one thing. I promised I'd get cool cola, and it does taste exactly like Pepsi. 1 to 1, as they say in Russian. Perfect. Oh, so here we have oh boy, there's some pictures from the flight. How am I going to share these? That's the question. I will have to do what? Oh boy, Tim's not creative. Maybe if I put this on the other screen and do a screen share. Oh boy, I bet this is going to work. Screen share. Go. So here we have a picture of his airplane. Does this look like anything? That kind of looks like Providenia. That's in Chukotka, where we were staying. Am I right? Because if you look there's a bay that kind of is thin, and to the right there seems to be this kind of like semi-abandoned something or other, which is the way it is. And then on the left is a small city, and it's a dirt road. Am I right? Is that Providenia? If it is, this is amazing. Providenia is featured in a video game. How do I stop the screen capture? Stop it. This is one of the reasons, my friends, why people often have producers when they do this sort of thing. But I will not punish Misha and Yulia. They already do a lot for me, and I'm not going to I'll just deal with it. But anyways, I think that image was Providenia. And if it is, that is amazing. That the second biggest town, basically in the whole state of Chukotka, I think there's 55,000 people. And city number 2, well, it's not technically not. Someone even corrected me, like, it's not a city, it's a settlement. The number 2 place that people live, that could be referred to as a settlement, or in Russian, selo, is like 2,200 people. So if you want to be isolated from people, you want your space. Chukotka's got the most space of like maybe anywhere on Earth except for maybe Greenland or something. So it's intense. It's intensely low populated. But anyways, that's awesome. What an awesome image. Here we go. Is that also Providenia? So yeah, that might be something, but that's very, very cool. But anyways, back to Magadan. And remember, if you guys have some sort of like questions or whatever, you can do the raise your hand function. We can chit chat. You can tell me to go F myself, which is more interesting for the video. You can do whatever. So anyways, Magadan. So one thing that really surprised me about Magadan was actually how kind of nice it was. And one thing I should say is about how Vladivostok, which has a pretty good reputation, Magadan, which is a terrible reputation, Anadyr, which is like the capital city of Chukotka, which has no reputation because no one knows it exists. And where else? We're also Khabarovsk. Khabarovsk is a little bit more inland. Khabarovsk has a more also positive reputation. They have these like really nice new airports. And this is one of those things where it's that's what inspired me to make that video about how I think they might be really going to be increasing the relevance of Vladivostok in the future, because the airport's there. Like, for someone who hasn't traveled around Russia, especially if we were to go back in time 15 years ago to when I first came to Russia, besides like Moscow and St. Petersburg, basically every Russian like state capital airport was a stock Soviet design. And I do mean stock. They were like literally exactly the same in all details of like a single main room. And you just kind of like walk out to the airplane. Like they're dinky. They're dinky airports. I can tell you the Pittsburgh airport in America, vastly more superior and sophisticated. Cleveland as well. Buffalo, New York, an airport I've been to a few times, vastly superior in every way. So if you want to compare like airports in terms of their quality, size, and all that, all those three sort of middle America destroy your average Soviet airport, in my opinion. But like now, the entire, like, you know, a lot of middle Russia, a lot of middle Russia, they kind of just remodeled those airports and they kind of like extended them. You know, they're kind of, you know, they're still kind of using that Soviet infrastructure. The whole Far East, all new. Even in Anadyr. And that really kind of sends some kind of signal like these people expect a lot of flights. You know what I mean? Like Magadan's airport is sort of, I don't want to guess offhand if anyone knows, but in my opinion, it looked to be about with as many like, you know, gates and all that as like Cleveland or Pittsburgh. And it had like real gates, you know, the nice kind where you don't have to go on a stupid bus and you just walk through the little moving bridge thing and get on the planes. I was shocked and impressed. It is really, really nice. And ironically, you know, you're flying up to Anadyr and you're flying to Anadyr, this place you've never heard of, and you get to go on the airplane over the little bridge, but then you fly back to Moscow and you're on the bus. So weird. But anyways, that's just weird to me. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I loved it. We have some more imagery from Anadyr from there. Yes, he says, yes, his flight simulator. Yes, it's Providenia on Flight Simulator. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Media view. Look at that. That is just nuts. That's actually in a game. Who took the time to model all that? But I don't know. That's yeah. But anyways, so with Magadan, now so the first thing that really impressed me was the airport. The second thing was the fact that the local tourist operator and a few other people just like, we need to get over the past. And they had some pretty nice hotels, except for the hotel, which has an amazing name in English. And I don't think anyone realized it. The only hotel, so we stayed at a few hotels for various reasons. We were kind of spending time on boats and stuff, which I hate, and kind of moving around. And so we couldn't really just stay at one hotel for a long time. We're kind of going here and there. And the worst hotel by far was the BM. And for anyone who speaks American English, you know what the BM stands for. My grandmother as a child would ask, you know, before a long car ride, Tim, maybe you need to make a BM, because she was a very polite lady and did not like vulgar language, including the word poop. So there you go. So stayed at the BM hotel. It was it lived up to its name. I'll put it that way. So yeah, so it's kind of weird and Soviet, but the one I recommend, if you go to Magadan, you should go to the Silver House Hotel. Let's see if I can find that here. Silver House, Gostinica Magadan. Oh my goodness. Do they have a site? Site. You should have a site, shouldn't you? Yes, you do. Okay. So this is so here. Oh, we should actually show you what are things like in Magadan. Oh, share screen. So anyways, like this is the hotel. It's all brand new. Look at those rooms. And my friends, the pictures, they do not lie. Look at that. That is exactly like the room I stayed in. It was super nice, new and clean. But the main thing, the main feature, are they going to show it? Show the main feature. Where's the bathroom? Oh, you see that there? Right there? Right where the mouse is? You see that thing there? That is a towel rack. Now you think, Tim, why is a towel rack so important? Well, my friends, when you travel for a month and you are ordered by your producers that you cannot take more than 15 total kilograms of stuff with you, you have very little opportunity to wash your underwear. And while I was at the Silver House Hotel, I could always wash any clothes, stick them on that thing. In fact, the towel rack I had was much nicer. It had much more metal to it. But anyways, and you could sort of like wash stuff by hand and stick it on there, and it would be dry by morning. Amazing. The BM Hotel did not offer that opportunity. So I was at the BM. The underwear were getting stinky, especially when I was on the boat. So we had a lot of time on boats, and so I had like 2 good spans of 5 days with no bathing whatsoever. Fun times. But yeah, real nice hotel. If you go to Magadan, you must stay at the Silver. Look, they even have half luxury, no category apartment. Oh my God, apartment style. Can you get a kitchen? But 8,600 rubles a day. Holy moly! You better go there with a family. But I think when they have the apartment style, they mean, oh my gosh, there's a kitchen. Oh, beautiful. But 8,600 is a lot of money. So what my room? What did that cost? It was a single. Go back. Or it is. 5,600. A little pricey. It is honestly a little pricey, but gosh, I love when someone else pays for things. So that was nice. And one thing you should know that who's in the hotel with us? Fishermen. Apparently, the #1 form of tourism to Magadan is fishing because it is easy. If any of you guys remember from when we did the Vladivostok video, how I was kind of worried we wouldn't catch any fish and the video would suck, and we caught fish just instantly. That's how it is in Magadan too. I would call it automatic fishing. It requires just throw it in there and they just come. It's unbelievable. So if you're a big fishing fan, you'll enjoy that. But anyways, so about Magadan, the city is not super big. That is it. And then outside of Magadan, not a whole lot. As you can see, the airport is extremely far away for some reason. It's all the way over here. It's very, very far away. But as you can see, not a lot of stuff. And one of my favorite things is there's a sign. There was a road sign, and it said, like to the next major city. And it said to I believe Yakutsk was 2,000 kilometers. So that shows how isolated things are. But anyways, Magadan is in a big bay, and that is nice. And it actually was very foggy, and they say it gets the special like sea climate where it's actually around the city anyways. It's not that cold. So that was Magadan. Very nice, very interesting. Let's see. Is there anything going on in the chat here? We're going to stop this. Is there anything going on in the chat or not? Is anyone raising their hand? No. Okay. So the chat, top question, comment, observation from you. His name is you. Originally, I had wanted to fly from where you were back to Moscow, and it was a 2-hour flight to the nearest bigger place, Anadyr, I think, from Providenia, and then another 6.5 hours to Moscow. Wasn't ready to fly that in the sim, so I just flew the 3 hours to Yakutsk. Point is, I'm wondering which flights you took and how long it took so people can get an idea for the sizes we are dealing with. Okay, that is actually a super duper question. So the first thing is from Moscow to Magadan is easy. Big airport to big airport, 6 hours. No problem. Now, getting from Magadan to Providenia, the little teeny tiny city in Chukotka. Here we go. We had to fly from Magadan. So let's get out the map. Let's get rid of Silver House. So we had to go from Magadan. Oh, well, I didn't share the screen. Oh, okay. Share the screen. Okay, here we go. All right. So we had to go from basically Magadan up here. We had to fly down to Khabarovsk, which is down here, to fly down to Vladivostok. So this was, I think, like 2 or some hours. This was like 1 hour, very common short flight down to Vladivostok. But the layover was like 16 hours. So we actually stayed at a really like cool, trendy apartment. And maybe we got completely wasted. I'm not saying we did, but that's within the realm of possibility. We also may have ordered a giant box full of crab meat, which I can't eat, but my colleagues can. So all of that is within the realm of possibility. I can neither confirm nor deny. But anyways, we went from Vladivostok, and we went all the way up to Anadyr, up here. So that was, I think, 3 some hours on a pretty decent plane. But then, my friends, the adventure doesn't stop after all that. After 3 flights and having like a 16-hour layover. Oh, no. Wait. Let's take a look here. You don't need to read Russian to understand this. Does not require knowledge of Russian. I can tell you something. This word over here is anadir. Now, you see, well, the airport, oh, it's over here. It's kind of weird. Oh, where's the bridge? Where's the road? Shouldn't there be a road? So shouldn't there be a bridge? There's no bridges. There's no roads. You, my friends, have to just wait and get on the ferry. Okay? It even says ice periprava. I don't know how to translate that. Basically, ice route anadir to Ugalny. That's where they get their coal, so it's named after coal. It's kind of funny. They have a lot of coal just laying around all over the place. Apparently, there's a lot of coal there. But anyway, so you have to you do like a ferry boat or get on some sort of cutter, as they call it, and go across the water. And you have to wait for it. And guess what? You know when the cutter arrives, it has a schedule. Sometimes it doesn't arrive. Sometimes it arrives when El Capitan wants it to arrive, which is amazing. So, but you have the option of, and this is funny, if anyone here is Russian, you'll get a kick out of this. So you come out of the airport, and the first thing that you see are taxi drivers. And I'd expect them to be like the Chukchi people or Eskimos or Russians, okay? Or something like that. They're guys from the Caucasus Mountains. It's exactly the same guys from the Caucasus Mountains with exactly the same clothing as they are usually when they're in taxi drivers in Moscow, wearing velvet loafers. Now, may I remind you, even in summer here, it's like winter in most European countries. Got the velvet loafers on, and they sort of, I don't know what a sort of Caucasus Mountain accent would sound like in English, but I'll try my best here. It's like, hey, brother, I take you on board 15,000 rubles. It's okay. We go, I promise, okay. We go, boat wait for us. It immediate, 15,000, okay. So you have the choice to pay the Armenian, Georgian, something taxi drivers 15,000 rubles, but you will immediately get onto a ferry boat and be immediately taken to your home. Or you can go on the magical mystery tour for 300 rubles to see when the boat comes, if it comes, where it's going to, it should drop you off in one place, but who knows when it'll get there. That is part of it. So we have 3 flights, 16-hour layover. We have amazing boat mystery tour. Then we actually can go to Anadyr and sleep. But what does that mean? How do we get to Providenia? How do we get to the little teeny tiny settlement of Providenia? We have to then go back across the water. There is no bridge. There is no road. We go back across the water to the airport through that whole bothersome process. And the day we did it, you know how, guys, I'm very paranoid about missing flights. And the day we did it, the first boat didn't show up. Oh, no! Thankfully, we still had time to make the flight, but it was close. And then you fly on what Americans would call a prop plane, as in it has propellers on it. So it's not a jet engine. It's a propeller plane that is older than I am. The oldest fleet of aircraft in the world is from Chukotka Airlines. Fun times. Maybe you guys remember those like, oh my gosh, what would it be? Let me look over here for a second. Like 1950s airplane inside. Let's see. No. Maybe I should say 1950s freight airplane. Yeah. Do you have a freight airplane? Oh, is this a good picture of it? It's not loading very well. Well, let's just try this. Let's try it the Russian way. I believe it's samolyot on. Oh boy, these all look so modern. Hold on, let's get this on your screen. Okay. So you guys should be seeing this. Let's see. What kind of... These seem to be all kind of military or like modern. Where is an old piece of crap? No. I believe it was an AN or on for Antonov. Oh, my God. Well, see, this kind of looks actually nice and clean, but it was like, friends, maybe you remember some kind of like, these all look so nice. Oh, my God. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, look at that. And the thing is, behind you is, you know how like there are there are airplanes that you can, like, I don't know, like roll a car into or something, or they can like roll cargo into the back of the plane, drops down. It's one of those. So like the back of the plane, like it actually has, it's the seal on it's not very good, so you can like see daylight coming out of the butt end of the airplane. Is this the kind of plane? Yeah, see, it has the flat butt because the butt drops down. You can see the daylight. So that was amazing. As someone who's well, I should say, I can't say I'm afraid of flying, but gosh, I don't like it. And the plane was just like vibrating. It was if you're afraid of flying, you just can't go to Providenia. I'm sorry. That airplane, its ancientness, its exposure to the outside world, it is loud. Yeah. That it did not have the nose thing, but anyways, yeah. So, if you're ready for adventure, there you go. So all in all, we had 3 flights, 16-hour layover, had to voluntarily choose to sleep. Well, no, it was a layover because there was no flight. There's only 1 flight a week each direction to Providenia. So we actually did have to spend 24-hour layover to fly like 1 hour and 35 minutes on the propeller plane from hell to actually get to Anadyr, which is this. So this we saw, not to Providenia. And Providenia is up Lavrentia. Here it is. And there's Providenia and the bay and all that. But the thing is, my friends, the national park is actually more kind of up here. So then to actually get to the national park, you have to wait a little bit more and then take a boat up to the ranger station where you can finally stay for a few days at the Beringia, as in like Bering Strait, Beringia National Park. That was a travel adventure. Okay. So anyways, let us stop the screen sharing. We're going to stop sharing. We are going to take a look at the comments. Oh my gosh. So anyways, EarthBot version 2. Terrific insight. That's about something that really reflected what's happening now. It's probably an AN2, maybe, or ON2, up to you. Someone, he sent me an Antonov. No, it wasn't that old. But anyways, why use Google when you can use Yandex? Yandex, well, I'll put it this way. Google, you can't deny that Google tends, like the Google Chrome and all that, works very efficiently. Google Docs is an amazing system. It is the best. It just, as soon as Google Docs took off, it just slapped Microsoft Office just to the ground, in my opinion. So they do some good stuff, but they are totalitarian. And Yandex does offer better information about things related to Russia. Shocker. The Yandex translator tends to work better from Russian to English than the Google translator. Again, shocker, you know. So my life is a mix of Google and Yandex, so it really depends. But if you really start to do like videos about history related to Western topics and you're using Yandex, the results are going to be Like if you're like, okay, like you don't remember, you're like, did 3 of Abraham Lincoln's children die before 18, or was it like 4? And you start looking for that kind of information in English and Yandex. It's just not. Whereas in Google, you ask a question like that and boom, you find the answers. And mother effing Dan Scavino is pooping. He's making a BM all over this podcast with yet more bot posts. I actually really want to that's it. And I'm going to contact him tomorrow. I found out, the name of his, ironically, he was like the sort of PR person for Trump, but he has his own sort of PR guy. So I'm going to talk to a PR guy's PR guy. We're going to see. We're going to talk to Dan Scavino once and for fickle. So, anyways, yeah. So, I talked to you guys about, let's see. Let's actually get some nice like pictures here of Providenia. Yeah, and I think I sort of covered Magadan. Maybe you have some more specific questions, but let's see. Yandex. Yes, that's what I want. Thank you. Providenia. Providenia at Silo. Okay, let's get some pictures of it. So, anyways, just going. Okay, so anyways, Providenia, as you can see, this is what it looks like. That is a very good photo. As you can see, you can kind of see some perfectly refurbished, very clean, colorful buildings next to abandoned buildings. So that's part of the weird part about Providenia is like look here where the little mouse pointer is, like the building to the right, abandoned. The same connecting part of it, not abandoned. That's one interesting thing. And it's also on like 3 different levels. It's sort of on terraces, which is interesting. So when you're going uphill, you're pumping. Oh, you're pumping. So kind of a neat place. Oh, that's a very good picture of what the landscape looks like. Oh, it's kind of small. Oh, that's the. Why is this picture so low resolution? This bothers me. Stop it. No, I didn't want to do that. No. Anyways, another view. That looks like a very old image. There it is. Ah, you can see the ice is forming around the bay because the bay does freeze over in winter, which kind of makes me wonder how people even survive, especially people who aren't like Eskimos, because at some point they can't get food or vodka into the bay there, and I don't know how people make it, but they somehow do. That's an old photo. All the colorful buildings aren't really there. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I climbed that mountain while I was there with my coworkers. We kind of climbed this mountain for fun, so why not? But anyways, Yandex is gosh. Anyways, Yandex can be confusing sometimes. But anyways, yeah, real weird. This is the abandoned city that's right across it. And again, you'll see this joke in the video I make it. But from the rental apartment we had, which was really freaking nice. It was nicer than the place I rent in Moscow for the kids. Unbelievable. Really, really nice apartment. But from the window, you look out and you can see a mirror image of the city that you're in, or excuse me, Russians, settlement, of the settlement that you're in, but everything is freaking dead. Oh, it's so heavy metal. Oh my God. Every building abandoned, everything dead. And it's called Urielki, excuse me. Urielki is written there. Oh, that's so cool. That's so metal. If anyone listens to metal, just like looking out, it's like, I don't know, it's like some sort of like, dark gothic song where someone looks in the mirror and they see themselves as dead. It's that, but it's like a settlement or city, as I like to call it. So, yeah, amazing. I'm not surprised this isn't Yulia. Actually, she kind of looks like Yulia a little bit there. So maybe that is. Who knows? But, yeah, some people get really pumped about it. Yeah, there is a lot of paganism in them, Nar Hills, so who knows? I bought this watch, and I still love it. But it's nothing compared to the Vostok. The Vostok is king. So, but this watch, very nice with suits. So anyways, yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. The graveyard, the cruise liner. One thing that might really surprise you guys is, I cannot believe this, but so many people told me that it must be true. So let's go with Providenia. Let's see, am I in Russian? Aeroport. Kartinki. Now, the let's see, can we see a good? Oh, one thing that's amazing is outside of the Providenia airport, they actually have like you know how they have these experts who analyze what plane crashes look like? Well, where do they train them? There. So outside of this airport, when you're getting on an airplane that, again, is older than I am, the butt of the airplane doesn't close properly. It smells like a kerosene festival on the inside, and it is so loud your ears hurt. And it's also a very light airplane. And as you're taking off, you see dead airplanes all around you, just airplane corpses. Unbelievable. This is the spirit. This is the spirit of Providenia. This is what you see when you're taking off. Yeah, baby. Oh, my gosh. Oh, and a border guard looking snazzy there. Trust me, the border guards had a lot of questions for my ass. That's for sure. Even with Russian citizenship, they had quite a lot of time to talk to me. This is I believe this is the Anadyr airport. Is it? I think it is. Oh no, that can't be. No, that's Southwest Airlines. No, that's something else. But it's the same shape. Anadyr is the same shape and size. But no, the Southwest does not fly there. But what I did want to say is at some point in time, American charter flights did go. Oh, that's a tiny image. Did go to Anadyr. That might have been our airplane. This one over here. So, yeah, you could actually fly from Alaska to, this Prividania place. That's what the airport looks like, which actually isn't too bad. But the runway, of course, is just dirt. Yeah. But so my father was actually thinking, he was like, Tim, I think it'd be a good idea if I got an airplane, I'll fly to Alaska and fly right over there while you're there. And I was just like, Dad, it'd be easier to fly to Moscow through Turkey, to the United States, to be honest. But in the past, before the war, you could get chartered flights, which happened semi-regularly, and fly to this little interesting but very isolated place. And you might wonder, what is this building to the left, Tim? Is this a grain silo? No, it's a soccer field that's indoors. And this building here, although it looks like it's abandoned, it's not. It's a heated swimming pool. So one thing I have to say about Prividania is in terms of they have gyms and sports stuff and heated swimming pools for winter that are indoors. Ooh, there is a little bit of entertainment in Prividania, trust me. So, yeah. And I like this picture, too, because it's more modern. It shows all the different colorful buildings. You can't see the weird eggplant-colored store that we were going to, but maybe it's here somewhere. I don't know. Well, I'd like to be swimming with her. Wait, is this? No, that's something else. That's no. That's not it. But that kind of looks again also like Anadyr, but not. It's not it. Anadyr does not have that platform thing. All airports look alike, my friends. They all look alike. But you know what? Let's actually look for it, because now I'm curious to what show you. Anadyr Airport. See, look at that. Look at this. Look at this. It has the bridge thing to go on the airplane. And it's this weird little airport, and they actually have it. Oh, my gosh. And this little area with the windows is sort of where you walk to get to, your baggage claim. Unbelievable. Tiny city, 55,000 people. Fantastic airport for the size of the city. On par with a lot of more small... I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been to Pittsburgh in a long time, and now I might never be allowed to again. But almost, maybe even on par with Buffalo. I maybe I'm stretching it. Maybe my memory's bad, but I think. There she is. There's the Nightmare Mobile. AN 24 or something. I can't see. Oh baby, yeah. You want to? That is the Indiana Jones 1930s flight experience right there. Now let me show you the airport in Magadan, because I want to show the scale, because it was Magadan Airport. Go. Let's see. Is there a good picture of it? Probably not. Just to spite me, there'll be no good images. That's the inside. Of course. Why have nice pictures of the lovely sort of oh God, that's frustrating. All these seem to be old. It's not the airport we arrived at. What a disappointment! Massive disappointment. So, anyways, it was much nicer than that. That's all I can say. But yeah. So anyways, we'll leave that there. And guys, do you have any specific questions about maybe I should get into a little bit about the what the hell is this Chukotka place? Let's see. We don't have any questions. Oh, we've got a lot of heart reacts here. Thank you, friends. Heart reacts. I think you have a point. They both ghoulish kindred. Okay, confusing. Anyways, but the thing about Chukotka, so Magadan has that, like I said, that history of kind of having a lot of Russians sent there to work in camps. But there's also some local natives. But Chukotka is more of a place where the native population outnumbers the Russian population. So the big ethnicity are the Chukchi, which sort of look a little bit like kind of Eskimos, sort of Mongolian Asian appearance. There are about 14,000 of them. And I think there was like 4,000 Eskimos, the exact same Eskimos that are in Alaska. Okay. And so that was another one of the reasons why they would have those flights there, because before the Cold War started, the Eskimos would kind of, sail back and forth. There was a lot of intercommunication between the different islands in Alaska and the mainland of Russia and all that stuff. Well, the Cold War changed all that. The 90s kind of opened it back up again, and now that world is again closed for them. So it's kind of also weird that this sort of mysterious minority ethnicity that's like in America is also in Russia. And for them, my friends, life is very, very hard because it's tough. There's not a lot of food in the winter, and in a lot of ways, whaling is still a thing. And if you ain't whaling, you ain't eating. So we actually got to talk to one of the guys who does whaling and all that. It was kind of neat. One thing they do have is all the natives there have unlimited fishing freedom. So they don't have any government regulation on fishing because they sort of literally need it to survive. Kind of weird. Interesting. I may have even seen the easternmost school in all of Russia, in this place called Novaya Chaplina, which is filled with the Chapliny Eskimos. There's a lot of different Eskimo tribes, some of them very small. So that was kind of neat. And they also live in houses built by Canadians. So let's take a look at that together, because you might get a kick out of this. For those of you who are from North America, Novaya Chaplino, Chukotka. Okay. You're going to get a kick out of this. Oh, look at this. Let's see. Share screen. Boom. Share screen. Okay. So, can we see it? Oh boy. Yeah, they get a lot of snow. But no. Maybe you could kind of see. But yeah, so this is it. This is one thing where they claim to me that actually living in these houses is pretty decent, but they're stick frame. And by stick frame, I mean they're made out of 2x4s. These are like the houses that my parents live in. And some people, and this is again going back to the Russian inferiority complex, everyone started convincing, no, they're amazing. They're made with Canadian technology. It's stick frame. I can see that it's stick frame. And I also on the exterior of the house, as in when you build a stick frame house, you have all these 2x4s, these big, not big, thin, relatively speaking, pieces of wood that go into a frame. And then what you do is you put something over it, like your OSB or some sort of sheeting, which keeps the sticks from going side to side. And like you can see where there's places where the siding has come off over the years, and it's just normal OSB. It's not even like a zip sheet. And everyone there is trying to convince me, this is great. It was a gift from Great Canada. So much better than Russian. No. There's no amount of bribery or anything in the world that can tell me that when you're living in like minus 40, minus 50 degrees Celsius with winds that can knock a man or a bus, people there say the bus route is different in the winter. It's longer because if you go to the top of the hill, the wind will take the bus out. Okay, so you're dealing with those kind of environments. I cannot believe that a Canadian stick frame house, which seems to have nothing in particular different about it than other houses in Ohio, Saskatchewan, Illinois, is somehow amazingly adapted to this environment. It's just not. I don't believe it, and I never will. But that's what everyone tried to convince me of. See, look at this. The walls, they're 4 inches thick. Oh my God. That's not even good enough for Chekhov. Before I put in extra installation on the second floor in Chekhov, you would die in winter going up there. So, although it was a nice, I guess, gift in theory from the powers that be in Canada during the 90s, I don't know, guys. And one other thing is you see the little room in front. One thing is about design. I don't know if this will make the final video, but so they had a comment of, I was talking to one of the whale experts, that's how you do. Maybe you're drinking with whale experts, maybe you're not. That's how I spend my vacation. Gotta crack open a bottle with your whale knowledgeable buddies. And one thing he said is the problem is with the home design was they never really asked the Eskimos about how they live, about how whaling works and what their needs are. Because apparently, when you cut the head off of a walrus, by tradition, you do it inside. So that guy said all these, not this one doesn't seem to be, but he said that guy's been in some of the Eskimos' homes, the whale expert, and he just says it's just coated in old gore, just complete gore, because you behead the walrus and then cut it and, get the guts out and all that, and do the butchering of a walrus always indoors by local custom. So, oh my goodness, yes. So, oh no, here's the people. Here's the people there enjoying the summer. This looks like it's the 90s. So, yeah, everyone's happy. Very nice. What does it say? The holiday of the sea hunters in Nova Chaplina. Very nice. Very respectable there. Some kind of athletic competition, I guess. The same buildings. Long jump there. So, and as you can see, it kind of looks really nice. It's like the middle of summer. Everyone's still wearing coats, So, yeah, very neat. Probably the school. Oh, they had a real nice soccer field, though. A little soccer field there, their basketball and the school and all that. So, the only thing that I think you say is a real downside is they get their electricity from a big diesel. Hey, pizza time. So they get their electricity from like a big diesel generator, which give me these photos. And so while you're there, the entire time, to an extent, either louder or quieter in the background. Can we see it? No, that's not it. There's also a lot of stolen shipping containers. Go Eskimos. I don't think they buy them because I'm assuming they're stolen, but it's amazing how many shipping containers they have. Good job, guys. If you stole it, good for you for being able to steal something that's 40 feet long. A lot of shit. Oh, yeah, Northern Lights. There we go. Yay. But anyways, how they get their electricity and heat is actually from a diesel generator. So it actually all winter while you're there, not all winter, stop. Actually, the entire time that you're there, whether you're closer to it or farther from it, you sort of hear the noise of like a propeller airplane. And I guess in winter, because they can't really turn it off, you're listening to that for 24 hours a day. That's tough. That's a little tough. So, but anyways, it was still a real neat experience. I got to eat whale meat for the first time, but I'll save that secret of what it tastes like for the video. So I got to have whale meat, and I got to meet a lot of the locals there, and it was a really neato experience. I'd love to watch you camp in Russian cold weather. People camp over there. Yeah, camping is a thing. Oh yeah, definitely. It is. Problem is I don't really have a setup for that. I'll put it this way: is that with like you need something like a yurt, to be honest. And I don't think anyone's going to do that. But I'll talk to Misha and Yulia about the concept of maybe doing some yurt camping on our own. But I'm not so sure. Let's see. Like a fashion shoot. Are they crazy? What's this about? I'm lost. Yeah. So anyways, guys, it looks like we don't have a lot of questions. No one is raising their hands. I hope I kind of gave you a little bit of the spirit of the Far East. But let's just try to do a summation of the Far East. It is very different. The airports are very nice. Outside of Vladivostok, it is very, very underpopulated. Okay, so there are very few people there. There are a lot of small ethnicities, including Eskimos, which should be familiar to any American there. Well, maybe not super familiar, but you've heard the word. Ironically, they do have ice cream there. And the type of ice cream bar is called an Eskimo. So, and you can witness an Eskimo buying and eating an Eskimo bar. Yeah, so you have a lot of these minor sort of ethnicities. And the more north you get, obviously not in Vladivostok. Vladivostok is very warm. I think it's like Portland, Oregon, or maybe warmer. But for a lot of other places, a lot of people are going to do some supplemental eating. I mean, even the tour guide around Magadan, although he seemed to be doing pretty well for himself. There's a female one first. There's a male one, their whole team. When he had the opportunity to go fishing with us, I could see he was like, you going to eat all that? Because we got, I'm not kidding, guys. Within a 30-minute span, I think we had over 20 fish. I mean, they're just like 1, 2, boom, 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 boom. They don't even use fishing rods. they take a piece of veneer and just sort of tie the rope to it so you can give it sort of like a handle shape and just throw it in the water. And they just kind of bob it around like this and pull. The Russians manually pull the fish up like this, which is brutal, but you don't even need those fishing rod, and they just jump on it. So we took some of the fish, like a little bit, but overall he took like all of it, and I could see he was like, "Oh yeah, I just saved a bunch of money, sweet." So in a lot of ways, winter there's tough in both Magadan, but really in Kamchatka, but really in Chukotka. The winter is very, very tough. And the weather is very, very unpredictable. So that's one thing that we had to deal with was, unfortunately, there were some things we wanted to film around Magadan, and we were on a big boat, but to get off the big boat, you have to go onto a life raft and kind of beach and land. And we sent out a party, and it did not go well. It did not go well at all. So we actually sort of had to reorganize our thing and sleep on the boat, which was not fun, and sort of redo all of our plans because of that. And with the whole thing about Providenie and their airport, because the airplane is so old that you can't just fly on the instruments of the airplane. They have to have like total visibility to a certain extent. They cancel flights all the time, and there's one flight a week, meaning I was told that there were tourists there who stayed 42 extra days due to bad visibility. Oh, boy. I'm very happy that we had nice weather. So I guess I'll leave. Oh, someone wants to talk. Jennifer. Oh, my God, you want to talk? Someone wants to talk. Hello. Hello. Please. Jennifer, are you going to talk? Or are you just going to look at the basket? Oh, my God, you're here. Wait. No, where aren't you? Hello.
Hi. Can
Hi.
you hear me?
I sure can.
Hi. Hey, just so you know, your live stream dropped me. I had to go back into Telegram and go into the live stream. Just so you know.
Oh, I don't know. Well, the main thing for me at this point is to throw up the recording. So, yeah. But anyways, thanks for being here. Maybe you have any questions? Yeah?
I do. And I have a question and I have an idea.
Sure.
The cruise ship liners, do they go up that far north?
Well, judging by the photographs, they did. And I was told in the past that there were cruises that went from sort of like route like Seattle. What would the next city be? Oh, I'm dumb. Juneau, Anchorage, then up to Providenie in Russia, like a sort of Arctic arc. So in the past that was, but now because of the war in Ukraine, unfortunately, I don't believe that that's the case anymore until that's over with. So at some point in time, yes, that was an option.
Well, I just had an idea. I saw that, Russia was setting up fast track passport offices in Ukraine for people, to get their passport to become a Russian citizen. And I was thinking about the cruise ship industry kind of melting down in Florida, which is a freedom-loving state, Ron DeSantis. And I thought, wow, what if you could set up a Russian immigration process on a state-owned, like Florida-owned cruise line, so that you come to Florida, you do some preliminary processing, and then you get on the cruise ship, and all your immigration paperwork, processing, interviewing with FSB, you're basically, doing your immigration process on the cruise line. And you could, there's room, you could bring stuff with you. And if you're approved, then you can land in Russia with a temporary permanent residency, I guess. But you're on your way to the immigration process. And it could all be done in international waters on the cruise line. And the banking could also, because some of these cruise ship liners operate as offshore banks. Because once you're in international waters, you're not constrained by sanctions, etc. So my thought was, if freedom-loving states like Florida would want to own and operate, maybe, I don't know, too far to dream that it could be in partnership with Russia, but it would somehow be a partnership program so that people who want to immigrate, and there are so many people want to immigrate.
Trust me, I know. I'm doing my best on my end to get this village thing going, but it's just it's a nightmare bureaucracy. But anyways, please continue on.
Yeah, so my thought was handle the bureaucracy in partnership with Russia on the cruise line, and some of the revenue could go back to Russia. It could also go back to a state like Florida, and that would be a way of supporting freedom-loving states. And, a kind of far-out idea is we need to understand what Putin did in the early 90s to get rid of the deep state in Russia, right? Yeah. So people who immigrate, and we're all interested. We all want to know, how can we save our country? How do we help this happen in the United States? So maybe it was just a far out idea that in immigrating, you could also be kind of a person, an American who's trying to find out and bring that information back to the United States, through correspondence and communication, about how Russia did it, so that we can understand how to do it in the United States. And it would be anyway, it was just a crazy idea, but the thought came to me, it could really beef up the cruise line industry. And God knows we've got so many people that want to go. Well, and everything can be handled on the ship, including. All right.
Well, here, let me respond to you here. So hold on, a temporary mute there. So we sort of have two issues. You have the idea of the sort of cruise liner to do immigration in a sense more effectively, and we have about Putin's sort of victory over whatever the 90s were. So about the cruise liner, I'll put it this way. I'll talk to some people about that because I want to, I'm still from America. I like some crazy ideas. I guess we all have a little bit of Trump in us. I like thinking outside the box. I like some crazy ideas. The problem is Russia doesn't. And to be honest, the way Russian immigration laws work, as it stands today, they're very incompatible with that type of idea. Okay, so here's some of the reasons why. Because in order to immigrate into Russia, you have to fall into what they call the migration quota. So that's every state has a certain amount of people that they'll let in into a quota, and it's very small, and it fills up almost immediately. So the overwhelming majority of people, unless they sort of have a into the system, they really have to somehow have some sort of way to get an exception to be allowed into this certain number of people. But basically, they're sort of allowed to be on top of the quota because of some special reason. The number one reason is being married to a Russian citizen. There seems to be a new thing. If you look, I shared recently from our friend group called Moving to Russia. I shared from them an article about investment immigration golden visa program for Russia and immigration through study in Russia, which can be two exceptions. And you might want to take a look at that. But unfortunately, there aren't many exceptions. And that's another reason why I'm trying to do this whole American Village thing, because so far it's looking like this village might be one of those exceptions where we can sort of get around all this. But really, with that system of this quota stuff, basically, you can put as many people on a boat as you like or you don't like. There's no quota space for them. And the quota space was one of the weird things. Russia has 85 states, soon to be more. And the immigration thing is actually on a state level. So the laws for immigration and like the background checks are federal, but the actual quotas and all that is done on the state level. So you can't really do it on a boat because you need to be in the state where you're going to immigrate to, if that makes sense. Like the Chechen Republic would have its own. Moscow has its own. Even within it, like, if you were, when the American Village starts, it's all for the Moscow region. It wouldn't be through the actual Moscow office. There's also a lot of things like the immigration process requires a lot of medical exams. It requires a lot of the Russian language exam and all that stuff. And I don't know how they'd cram that onto a boat per se. So it's kind of an interesting idea. But the problem, again, is when you're dealing with, again, so I'm always honest with you guys about the negatives of Russia, and this is one of them. Your thinking is, we want people to immigrate to Russia. Let's find a way to make it easy. Okay, let's find a way to make this happen. That is absolutely not Russian thinking. Russians just do not think that way. And especially like Russian bureaucrats, it's all about protecting that butt, protecting their backside, staying in their position. And unfortunately, that is some sort of really useful radical idea is just usually not on the table. Now, what you said about how Putin changed things, it's a little bit different between America and Russia, because one of the factors that Putin had is it's kind of the advantage that the founding fathers of America had. Now, we call the War of Independence often the American Revolution, which for the colonies it was, but it wasn't a revolution in the terms of the British Empire. Like for America to break free, they didn't have to kill King George III, okay? Because they were far away. And the War of 1812, which followed later, also showed that it is really hard to fight the United States far away, especially sending guys on wooden boats, all right? So you have this massive distance. And I think that the one thing is since Russia is on the very, very far the west, and even during the height of America's pure hegemonic dominance in the 1990s, it was almost like, King George trying to harass the colonies. He could sort of harass them, but he couldn't really. It's just too far away, too different. And I think Putin had that advantage of that sort of geopolitical advantage of that physical distance. Whereas in America, like if you're someone who wants to change America, like Putin changed Russia, and getting rid of people, there's going to be a lot more resistance because, any leader, like any national leader or a Trump-like person who comes up, they're in the belly of the beast. They are surrounded on all sides by these people, and these people have been there in some ways for generations. So it's very difficult. The one thing I can say that Putin does understand, and the people around him, is that politicians, I don't mean to sound corny. This is going to sound very Republican and corny, but I mean it. A lot of politicians, if given the right sort of bribe or fear, they will vote to hang themselves. I know it sounds insane, but they will, especially because a lot of them don't really even know what they're voting for. That's another flaw of democracy. Just hit the button. And a lot of politicians, like, for example, I wouldn't be surprised if Trump could actually say, get Fox News to behave independently, and he could go on there and make a first off law. No one can have dual citizenship in just no one. And then so all these congressmen with that, like Israeli, other foreign, boom, 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 boom. Because that's what Putin did. It's just a matter of getting these people to sort of vote for this stuff, vote to hang themselves. And that's kind of what you have to do to clear up Congress. That sort of was his overall strategy. Another one was with the oligarchs was making a deal you can't refuse. Because one of the things with the oligarchs was he said, when he sat down, he sort of talked to everyone. Back when he was a much weaker leader and stuff, he's like, look, all right, 13% flat tax. That good enough? We got to get something. We can't. It was like basically the way he sort of put it on the table was, I can do taking 13% from you because if we don't get, because during the early Yeltsin period, Russia got nothing from its resources. According to certain Russian analysts who are popular on television anyways, they could be lying, but they said Russia got nothing for all those years, for most part. And Putin comes in, he's like, we can't do this. We can't just sit here and just get no money for all these resources. 13% flat. And in that room with some of these rich guys, a lot of them were probably like, okay, we get it. We're going to have to pay a little or else this government's going to collapse and we have a good relationship with you. Okay. But of course, some of them were like, fuck you, motherfucker. I'm going to talk to Washington about this. I'm a tattletale. And guess who got the squeeze? Because in some ways, if you can get the elite to sort of fight amongst themselves, or if you get, I don't know, you have 10 members of the elite at a table, and if you can sort of isolate two of them, That's when you can use secret services to put the squeeze down on them. That's when you can do what they did to Al Capone with looking into making him file for his taxes. You see what I mean? So that's essentially the real, the sort of, unfortunately, there's probably someone who could be a better, who could explain what Putin did better than I can. But in a long story short, it was a lot of that sort of a divide and conquer, or making a deal that a lot of them could sort of agree to. And that's in some ways why in Russia, why does Russia have such this like super libertarian-esque low taxes are stealing attitude? Because Putin had to get the oligarchy of the late 90s, early 2000s to sign off on it. And there you go. So and that's one reason why today's former communist Russia is so hardcore private property, because the rich guys made the rules with Putin, right? And so there you go. So in some ways, what would that be in America then? Let's see. What could we possibly do? So that would be the equivalent. Perhaps because there's so, especially if this was Trump, there are so many like environmental, we could go, look, guys, look, my friends here, big oil, big pharma, and all that. We're going to really cut down on this environmental stuff like pretty serious, okay? But at the same time, all this like offshore stuff, we're going to make a trade. You're going to push the offshore stuff is going to stop. But, guys, we're going to make it real cheap to work. Don't worry about it. You're making pills. You just put the pills in the water. Let the dolphins have 3 heads. Fuck it. And then a lot of the people in that room might actually go along with it. And it's a sort of also incremental process. And especially, like I said, there's 10 guys in the room. You isolate 2, you crush them. Probably 2 new guys show up. Well, then you go to the next level. You make another deal where we isolate 1 guy. You crush him. And then you crush the next guy. You crush the next guy. And all of a sudden you have this sort of 10 guys in the room. Because like for a country like Russia, right? Someone's going to have to own the factory, the copper factory, the nickel factory, the gold mine, the railway station, or the rail companies. There's going to be, someone's got to do this. There's got to be some oligarchy elite. So it's a matter of crushing them one by one until you sort of get an elite that's a little bit understands, okay, let's work with this. Okay, yeah, the government's the boss, but let's, work and deal. And that's, I think, one of the great hopes for another Trump term would be that because he understands the concept of the deal. So Jennifer wants to come back. We'll talk to you a little bit more. But then, so Jennifer, you should be here, I hope. Yeah. But anyways, I'm running out of steam. And if anyone else would like to talk to me or has a question, feel free to raise your hand. Okay, Jennifer, shoot.
I'm live. Okay, just a couple of things, Tim. Shoigu, the general, has put forward a proposal about developing Siberia, and with 3 to 5 major population centers, industrial, scientific, techno, a new Siberia thing. Well, Russia needs bodies. So, okay, if they're handling immigration state by state, perhaps the way forward is into Siberia, into where Russia wants population, they want immigration, they want people to come in, because it supports that development of that part of Russia, right? The Far East or the Center East. And I also want to just keep in mind, they did manage to fast track the passports in Ukraine. And it was a strategy of this war. Yeah. So,
remember, those are Russian-speaking people who consider themselves to be Russians.
I understand that. But I just noticed that it could happen, that there was a way that it could happen. So maybe, with the focus being where Russia does want immigration, they do want people. They want the labor, because I'll tell you, most of us that want to emigrate are well educated.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And a lot of us are early retirees who have had a whole career behind them, a professional career. So, we bring money, we bring our pensions. That could be solved through the cruise ship line. you know, somehow working with Russian banks and offshore banking, you know, get around the sanctions. I don't know. You know, it could be a lot of money coming into Russia, but it could also be a win-win because states here that are freedom-minded states, you know, could be also possibly receiving freedom dollars from this effort, you know?
Well, okay. Well, I'm going to let you go here, so I'll talk to you. I'll answer your sort of comment here. And then if no one wants to talk to me, I'm going to hit the road. But anyways, again, here's the thing. So I mentioned before that my birthday present came early this year, and I was actually asked through certain parties to really lay out in a formal document. Thankfully, they asked for you they said, it's okay if you write in English. So I wrote a formal document that was submitted to the Gosduma about the realities of immigration and essentially a lot of the stuff that you just said. Well, I agree with you. You're really preaching to the choir here. I share your attitude towards this. The problem is a lot of people in the Duma don't. There's sort of like two sort of parties here. There's one party that thinks, okay, things have gone crazy. But we can see that the West has gone woke. It is nuts. There are plenty of people there who are becoming very repressed by the whole LGBTQ plus ultra pedophile mania, and they want out. And we can sort of see that. But unfortunately, I think they're probably the minority. Because why? Russian inferiority complex for the win. Because when you really talk to a lot of people, why would anyone want to move here? No Western people are going to want to move here. They wouldn't. Are you nuts? Trying to convince Western people to go to Siberia? And if you say that to someone who's in maybe the FSB or would be a border guard, someone who works in security services, you say, we need to do this. We really need to, while we have the opportunity to like brain drain every conservative out of the entire tech industry, just brain drain them over here where they can be as Christian as they freaking want. We have this amazing opportunity. They're just going to say, but no one would ever want to come here, which means they're all spies. They're all trouble. Because in their mind, no one would ever want to come here. So anyone who does come here has to be some sort of destructive element or agent or something or other. Again, the real battle in Russia overall is dealing with the inferiority complex. The fact that the West, due to the sanctions backfire, has now somehow become poorer than Russia is a huge step. But we are dealing with 300 years of history, of historical inertia is the proper term, historical inertia. And so what can I tell you? I submitted a very logical breakdown of all this. Who wants to immigrate to Russia? Why? What is this looking like? What are the advantages to Russia? This, that, and the other. I'm trying to put together this village project, which is taking forever and a day. I've been sort of invited. I need to write to someone about that. Oh, my gosh. I got to hold on. I'm going to stop a live stream so I can actually hold on. There's someone I need to write to and tell them that I'm back in Moscow about a possible American village in another state. But anyways, it's really, then this is something that I've had trouble really relaying to people. The Russian inferiority complex, it is an invisible yoke or chains or handcuffs that is in the way of everything in here. And I think that it's, in my opinion, it's the main battlefront. But there are, oh my gosh, people want to talk to me. So we have 3 people want to talk to me. We're going to go top to bottom. Why? Because I think that's fair. But so anyways, I think I addressed your comment there. So we're going to talk to the Paradigm Shift. Hello, Paradigm Shift. Hello. Hello, sir or madam. Paradigm Shift. Oh, hi, you have video. Great. Hello. Oh, no, I can't hear you. What? For some reason, I can't hear you. You are not muted, sir. You are not muted.
How about now?
Oh, yeah, there we go. Well,
okay,
you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Right. Yeah. So I'm from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
So my question is, what policies is Russia doing towards encouraging farming in these Far East areas? I know where that they got some South African farmers to come across some years back
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's not the Western form of encouraging agriculture, like people just to pick seasonally, but people who are interested in farming from an entrepreneurial standpoint and maybe willing to invest some of their own capital in starting small farming, not really big. Yeah, but are there any policies like that being investigated or looked
one
at?
thing is, you're a well-dressed man in Trinidad and Tobago, which is a pretty small place. Do you know Kirk Mayhew?
Yes, I do. Yeah,
if you know him, tell him his buddy Tim Kirby would love to interview him. Give him give a shout out. All right.
Yeah. He's a big political scientist down here.
Oh, he's a great guy. He's a real smart guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, sir, I'm going to let you go so I can answer your questions. Thanks. So anyways, we're going to remove you temporarily, not because you're a bad person, because I want to answer. So about that, I just heard about, which is bad because I don't remember the details. Well, anyways, there's been a program for a few years called something like My Hectare, where they'll basically give away someone in like the far east of Russia or Siberia a free hectare, which sounds nice. The problem is, again, this is like your government bureaucracy thing. Real farming is usually not done on a hectare. It's done a lot more than that. And so this program, excuse me, I belched, pardon me. That program, it's kind of nice, but most people see it as sort of like a jumping off point. But when I used to work on the radio, we did like a weekly interview with someone who did that. So there were people who did like beekeeping and potatoes and all sorts of stuff with it, but it wasn't enough land really. And pretty much everyone sort of had to jump over there. Now there is some sort of support where I was told that this is in the works, that for people who properly apply, Russian citizens, sorry guys, and if they can sort of prove that they have the background and the intention, it's something like they're willing to give away 300 hectares and 50 million rubles will be like reimbursed for farm equipment. Now, 50 million rubles is, oh boy, okay, so we have 50, that's 500,000, 5 million, 50 million divided by 60-ish, $833,000. And remember, I know, guys, like a John Deere tractor, I think costs like $500,000, but these are like for like Russian equipment, which costs a lot less. So that program is going to be huge, and that is in the works. And I think that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to jump on 300 hectares and a reimbursement of $833,000. That's probably the best farming program I've heard. So everything's kind of changing in Russia. But I would say the one thing that might be a little bit sad for you is, although I've seen family farms and all that, unfortunately, compared to America, Russia has a lot more mega farming. Like, you don't see too many family farms. Why? Communism. There were family farms all over Russia. The family farm was the norm in Russia until the communists collectivized everything. And then after that, the 90s come and everyone's poor. And now the question is, it's like, well, who can start a farm? Kind of takes money to make money. And a lot of people who were sort of stuck on a collective farm in Siberia, well, they don't have the money to make money. So it's a cool program. Hey, where'd all the other people go? There were 2 other people who wanted to talk. Where are you? Why'd you change your mind? Hello. Oh my gosh. Oh, a certain person very important in my life. Hello. Mom. You there? Hello. Mother.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Just real quick, wanted to say, talking about those immigration laws.
Yeah.
I think those laws are extremely important, and I say that Russia should hold on to their high standards for immigration. You can see what is happening currently in the United States at our southern border. You can look back a few decades at what happened in Australia and see where they are today. Another thing is, recently you posted a video that Timur made explaining that there are a lot of new areas that they're looking to, bring in immigration. So I would tell someone to look at that post. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mom. Very nice. My mom out here to support me. Okay. Very, very nice. 21st century, baby. Yeah, so that's the one thing is remember with these immigration laws, like one of the reasons why Russia is kind of a nice place is basically with immigration, again, it's the question is, it's sort of like the philosophical question should be, but unfortunately, in Russia and in America and pretty much everywhere, maybe not in China, because we've had the resurrection of Confucian ideas. So maybe in China it's an exception. But most of the rest of the world, we don't really think about things philosophically, and it's a shame because the real philosophy of immigration, which I wrote in the documentation I sent to the State Duma, that we need to have a philosophical foundation of this. I said it should be like a sports team. You're trying to trade to get the best guys. But essentially, one other philosophical point would be, it's like, who do you let in your house and under what terms? You know, who do you let live in your zone, right? Because if we had an easy immigration process became too easy, that would not be very good. One of the nice parts about Russia, since there's no nanny state, there's not as much motivation to live here. But a lot of people in certain poor countries are very sure that there is a nanny state here. They'd be sadly disappointed when they show up. But so anyways, yeah, there's definitely a balance. And that's another reason with this whole American village thing, because generally the people who are going to participate, they're all family oriented, they're all Orthodox Christians. And that was the whole thing where I'm pretty sure, and I've gotten word from certain important people that that's going to be okay, but we got to wait. Special operations really get in the way of things. And again, the whole migration services are very occupied with all the people who are getting citizenship. So guys, gotta wait. Or you just have to come here and do things on your own without work. We're waiting for some project. But anyways, I think I'm going to call it quits here. I am a little bit tired. So anyways, I will speak to you all very soon. It was great to talk to you. I hope you found this informative, fun, and all that. And I will see you very soon.